Hello and welcome. Are you here today to join us for our tea tasting session? That's excellent. Have you ever been to a tea tasting session of ours before, or perhaps another shop? Okay, well, welcome to your first experience with tea tasting when it comes to loose leaf teas. So we will be preparing for our customers today 5 loose leaf teas, a combination of green teas, herbal teas and black teas for you to sample and try. These teas to my side are not a part of today's tea tasting, but they are teas that we sell at our shop if you are interested in trying them. These are not loose leaf teas, these are tea bags, but they are very lovely. Okay. However, the teas that we invite you to try today come from Tea Forte. So I know you mentioned that you haven't been to a tea tasting session before, but have you ever tried loose leaf tea? Well, you're in for quite the treat then. Loose leaf tea is a fantastic tasting experience. It takes new teas and classic teas and makes them as excellent as they can be. For your teas today, we have all organic blends. We have green mango peach, which is a green tea. We have Earl Grey, which is a black tea. We have chamomile citron, which is a herbal tea. We have English breakfast, which is a black tea. And we have ginger lemongrass, which is a herbal tea. So, are you familiar with those flavors or those types of tea? Okay, so you've tried a couple. Alright. So, we will be preparing the teas today with the classic tea infuser and cup combination. We do offer milk, sugar and honey if that is something you like to add to your loose leaf tea experience. I will say it is not typical, as loose leaf tea is very aromatic, fragrant and flavoursome by itself, but if that is to your liking, you are more than welcome to add it to your cup of tea today. So, what we do is we take a tea infuser. You can take a tea ball, which is good for 1 cup of tea, or you can take a larger tea infuser that's about this big and you let that steep in your teapot, and that will create 1 pot of tea. But because the sachets I'm about to show you today are single servings, we only need the 1 tea ball. The reason you need a tea infuser is because it is a loose leaf tea, and so all you really want is the flavouring from the herbs and flowers, not the herbs and flowers themselves. That would be too strong of an experience and might be difficult to consume. So I'm just going to layer the tea infuser right on the top there. Hopefully it sits. There we go. And what I will do is add the loose leaf teas into the cup, and for the other 4 cups for the 4 other flavours. Okay. Well, you feel free to sit back and relax, and I will prepare the tea for you. So, we normally like to start with the black teas first, Reason being is because they take longer to steep, normally 5 minutes, whereas green teas not only take a cooler temperature of water, but they also take less time to steep. So that's why we start with the black teas first, and then we move on to the green teas, white teas, herbal teas, things like that. Okay. So I have opened up the teas already, just to make it for a smoother experience. We do sell the set here. It is 15 sachets in total, 3 of each flavour. This just makes life a little bit more simple to measure out, so you don't have to wonder how much of the loose leaf you need to use, because if you use too much it can be too strong of an experience. So I'm going to prepare now the black teas. So what you do is you take the loose leaf tea onto your spoon, or you can just pour it straight in. And if you actually take a little look at the loose leaf tea, I'll show you it in the spoon. It has these gorgeous colours to it, beautiful shades of brown and lovely textures surrounding it, as you can see. Just pour that in. So you wanted to discover new teas then, I suppose. Oh, this should be a very lovely experience for you to try them. So that is the Earl Grey tea prepared. And now I'm going to prepare the English breakfast. This is another black tea. Rest it just like that. So are you familiar with Earl Grey and English breakfast? Yeah, wonderful classics, tried and true. So this one looks a lot like it does in the traditional tea bag. I'll actually show you a spoonful of it. Can you see? If I tip it just slightly for you, simple shades of black and brown there. Nothing too fancy, but the flavours really shine through with a loose leaf tea. Just pour it slightly like that. There we go. That's a perfect amount. I will have to put these to the side so I know exactly which ones we have in what order. Okay, so now we lock the tea infuser in, and you do this by popping the top on. You need to make sure it's secure so that the leaf doesn't fall through. Push the lock in like that, make sure it's sealed nice and tight, like that. Make sure it's nice and secure. Good. I'm just going to let that sit in there like that. And we'll prep the next one. Put that on top. Lock the dot in. Make sure that's secure. And then want to make sure the hinge just locks right onto it like that. Just put that in like that. And again, because black tea requires about 212 degrees and a little bit more steeping time, we're going to begin pouring the water in now. going to separate the cups so I don't clink them. Okay. And this makes for a very beautiful, aromatic, and visual experience. You can see the colours changing already. Move this one to the side. And move this one over. We will pour the water in. There we go. And we're going to want that to steep now for about 5 minutes. I'm just going to move these over and we'll begin preparing the herbal and green teas. So that is the Earl Grey, that is the English breakfast. I need to remember that for you. Okay, same preparation here. So green teas only need about 140 degrees, so still hot, but not as much. Pop that over. Is that going to sit? It is good. And now let's do the ginger lemongrass. Pour that in. The herbal tea has a lot more texture to it. As you can see, there's a lot of colours and flavours abound. There's shades of brown and green, some yellow. Lots of woodsy textures with this one. Very pretty. And English breakfast. Earl Grey, ginger lemongrass. Put this one here for memory's sake. We'll prep those. So, interestingly, if you pour water in on the wrong tea at the wrong temperature, so say for example you put 212 degree tea on a green tea, you would burn the leaves and have a very terrible tasting experience. But if you put too cold water in, then unfortunately your tea will taste quite bland. Ginger lemongrass. Let's prep the next one. You can see the colours changing. It's a very beautiful visual experience. And making your own tea at home, any loose leaf that you like, can be an honestly very calming experience. Chamomile citron now. Pop this here. Like so. This has the most interesting visuals to it. I'll show you. There's little flower buds, beautiful herbs, all colours, stems, very lovely. Shades of green, a little bit of purple. And this will make for a very flavoursome experience. More. Fantastic. Okay. Chamomile citron. Close this one up. Same process. We also sell the tea infusers here if you're interested. As you can see, lovely and easy to use. Close it in, wrap the hinge around, and you can hear the clink. Okay, switch these around so I know the order. Ginger, lemongrass, chamomile, citron, and last but not least for our preparation, we have the green mango peach. This is one of my personal favourites. Need a tea infuser, of course. Okay, pop this over the edge here. And those black teas are steeping lovely. Lots of colour, smells coming off of them. This has, again, lots of texture to it, lots of colour. This one actually uses mint in combination with the mango and peach flavours. This is a very refreshing, awakening tea. Pour the rest at the bottom, might be a little easier than the spoon. It's perfect, and that is the green mango peach. Top on this one. Make sure it's secure. There we go. Just press that in right there. Make sure it's not moving. Good. Let's put that in. Like so. So now let's put these in order. This is the chamomile citron. This is the ginger lemongrass. This is the chamomile citron. And this is the green mango peach. So move the black teas over here, just so that I can remember. Start with the green mango peach. The water will have steeped now to 140 degrees, making for a perfect tasting experience. Green mango peach. There's gorgeous green colours immediately coming off of it. This is the chamomile citron. Beautiful blue tones coming off that one. And the ginger lemongrass. Perfect. So we'll let those herbal and green teas sit and steep for just a little bit. Move the Earl Grey right here for you to sample in just a minute, and the English breakfast. And I will just order these just to make sure we know which ones you get. The colours can be very similar at first, and especially when you have so many teas steeping at the same time, can be very easy to get them mixed up. So I want to make sure you get the right ones. Okay. Perfect. So we can now remove tea infuser from the cup. After this particular part, you can begin to sip immediately because the temperature will be perfect. or you can continue to stir a little and let it steep a little longer, but as this is a tasting experience, feel free to try it at your leisure. Okay, so let's remove this now. We're going to make sure it just absorbs all those flavors nicely for you. And you can see that beautiful, luscious orange and brown tone coming off of this one. And this again shows you the wonderful power of the loose leaf tea. Visually, so many tones to it. The scent has so many tones to it. And you'll taste that there's just a world of a difference between the classic Earl Grey tea bag versus the loose leaf. Way for you. You do have sugar and honey beside you, if you'd like to add that. It's totally your preference. Move this slightly to the side. And here is your cup of loose leaf Earl Grey. Gorgeous brown and orange colour. Almost looks like caramel toffee. Give this a try. Let me know what you think. I'll just be doing a little bit of prep for the other flavours. You like that one? Fantastic. The Earl Grey actually combines some Italian bergamot in it, so it has a beautiful, strong, robust, but very classic flavour to it. Fantastic. So, let's get a little bit of room being made, like that. And feel free to sip away on that. I'm just going to be steeping the teas for you. Now, the English breakfast is slightly similar in tone. It focuses a little bit more on darker brown colours instead of those orange caramel colours. Similar. There's almost a slight yellow undertone to it, though. That is ready to drink. Has a beautiful, gentle waft of different scents for this one. Please enjoy that at your leisure, however you like it. Yes, it has a beautiful combination of complex malted undertones to it. It's a very wholesome but awakening tea. So I'll leave those on the side for you to sip at your leisure. So whilst the green teas continue to steep, I'd actually like to share with you a little bit of information about the history of black tea and green tea, if you're interested. So green tea is much older than black tea. Black tea was discovered in the mid-17th century in China, and the use of brewing green tea was discovered roughly 2700 BC in China. There is said to be some knowledge of people chewing on green tea leaves before this time. However, the Emperor of China, Shennong, accidentally dropped a dead tea leaf into his tea one day, a green tea leaf, and he sipped on the water mixed with the tea leaf, and he found it to be a very refreshing experience, and that is how green tea was born. So, Emperor Shennong was considered a very popular figure of Chinese agriculture and medicine. So, he inspired a wonderful beverage to exist and be enjoyed to this very day all around the world. So, with black tea being discovered in the 17th century, teas that were consumed in China at this point were only green teas and oolong teas. And I do have the story for you today about how black tea was discovered. So China refers to what we call black tea as red tea because they have their own black tea called pu'er tea. This is a post-fermented tea that comes in black and green varieties. 90% of all the tea that is sold in the world is black tea. Black tea was discovered as a result of the army from Shaanxi entering the Fujian province to camp at a nearby tea factory. As their settling there was unscheduled, it caused a delay in tea production, causing the tea leaves at the factory to be laid out in the sun for a longer period of time. The prolonged oxidation caused the tea leaves to turn to a dark red colour. To save the tea and accelerate the drying process, a farmer placed the leaves over a fire of pine wood, which gave the leaves a smoky flavour. This discovery introduced Lapsang Souchong, which was the original black tea. And if you have tried Lapsang Souchong, then you will know it is a very smoky, strong tea. Nothing like the English breakfast and Earl Grey teas that are also consumed. It is a very wonderful experience. If you haven't tried it, I will say it is, on the nasal passage, extremely strong. And whilst it does have a smoky flavour to it, it's incredibly enjoyable. It is not as overpowering as the scent. It is a fantastic tea to relax with or just to simply enjoy throughout the winter months. With those particularly cold weather, smoky flavours tend to warm the body up a little bit more. So, this is the ginger lemongrass tea, which I think is ready to be enjoyed. I really enjoy green tea and black tea personally. I find that green tea a little bit more gentle for me, so when I'm looking for something of more lighter, refreshing experience, I go for that. So this is a herbal tea. The sounds it makes when it steeps are very nice. You can see these gorgeous yellow, green tones just elegantly coming from the herbs and flowers of this one. Just want to make sure that all of the contents of the tea infuser are gently submerged into the tea. So, for the ginger lemongrass, you should expect some very balanced, cool, minty notes and some mellow licorice with this one. I'm going to smell it really quickly just before you consume it, so I know it's ready for you. Okay, and you may now feel free to try this at your leisure. this is certainly a unique experience with herbal teas. This does walk away slightly from the classic flavours, those strong, bursting flavours of black tea and the cool, gentle flavours of green tea. This is a little bit more focused on the true flavours and scents of herbs and flowers, and a little bit of that licorice is just bursting through there. It's not too overwhelming thanks to the mint infused with it, and that is a really cool and refreshing flavour. This might be really nice to enjoy if you're feeling a little bit under the weather. The cooling sensation might feel nice in the chest. Moving on, we have the chamomile citron. Quite the contrast in colours here. I'm actually going to keep them next to each other so you can actually see the colour difference. And as you can see visually, it is a beautiful experience. Now, all of these teas can very much be enjoyed alone. This is, of course, not your typical way of enjoying your typical cup of tea. But for an experience, you can see visually all the herbs and flowers bring on their own beautiful skill and craftsmanship in the infusion of the flavours. So it's nice to look at. So this has a blue undertone for the chamomile citron. This is another herbal tea. I'm going to let this steep all the way for you. Really calming, soothing experience. Move the tea infuser to the saucer. So for the chamomile citron, you should expect a beautiful Egyptian blend of herbs and flowers. Lovely, a little bit calmer than the ginger lemongrass. Ginger can also be very good for nausea, so perfect tea to waken you a little bit and maybe help when you're feeling a little bit poorly. The chamomile is a lovely calming tea though. A lot of people enjoy chamomile tea right before bed. I believe that it has a little bit less caffeine than black tea, and it has a lot of soothing and calming properties to it. So interestingly, the water temperature that you put into your tea can actually affect the caffeine that is inside the tea. So it may go up or down depending on the water temperature that you fuse your tea with. Interesting. So typically you'll want to add 1 teaspoon per 6 ounces of water. However, as loose leaf tea is a very personal experience, you'll want to enjoy it to your liking, and that's the wonderful thing about loose leaf tea. It is a tailored tea experience as opposed to a tea bag. You can add as much of it as you like and as little or as much water as you want. And every single time that you add, whether it's a little bit of honey, sugar, hotter water, colder water, more loose leaves, less loose leaves, you're going to get an entirely different taste experience. So visually, from what I can see here, in comparison to the ginger lemongrass, which focuses on those gorgeous colours of yellows, the chamomile citron is a little bit more mellow in colour. It certainly has a little bit more of a subdued colour. There's some grey tones, some blue tones, some green tones to it. And I think that reflects nicely in the herbs and flowers that we used to make it. Feel free to sip away. I'm just going to prepare the rest of the items for today's tasting experience. Okay, So what did you think of that one? Mm-hmm. It's very gentle going down, and even instantaneously, you can almost feel this very calming experience with it. Yeah. Okay, are you ready to try the fifth and final tea? Excellent. So I'll move these out of the way. So this is our green tea that we have for today's tea tasting. I have personally saved what I think is the best to last. However, this is your tea tasting experience, and of course, you may feel free to enjoy or dislike perhaps any ones that you please. So I really like this one, not only because it is a green tea, but it combines the flavours of mangoes, peaches, green tea and mint perfectly. So get the little saucer. Perfect. Beautiful scent coming off of that one. This has a combination of ginger, peppermint, and beautiful ripe mangoes and peaches. So I'm just going to smell this one really quickly so I know that it's ready for you. Beautiful, absolutely delicious. This could easily be a different sort of beverage, perhaps a juice, perhaps a gummy, a candy. It's a very widespread scent on this one, but I really think that you will like this one. Please feel free to go ahead. Yes, the colour is very similar to the ginger lemongrass. It has a slightly yellower colour to it. The yellow tones in this are a little bit richer. It probably comes from the fruit infused into it. Interesting. Okay. So now that you have tried all 5 of the teas, let me know, what did you think about them? And be completely honest, you won't hurt my feelings. Interesting. Okay. I see. Put that one right there for you. Perfect. Okay. Very interesting. What are the teas that we have here? So these are our specials for this week. These are our specials from our tea bag collection. We have teas from all brands of all flavours and all types of teas, but these are the ones that we have just on special this week. This is the Prince of Wales Pure Black Tea here. This has a 2 out of 4 strength, and this has a soft, smooth and mild taste. We have this one over here. This is Orange Pico. We have a look on the side for you. This has a bright, crisp and refreshing flavour, and this is just a little bit stronger than Prince of Wales tea. As a little warning for the Orange Pico, it doesn't taste that much of orange, but it's very refreshing tea. This one here is our Blackcurrant Breeze tea. This has a fresh, juicy, aromatic flavour to it. It's not too strong, but it's very delicious. And this is our Yorkshire Gold, just on the side there. Sure, you can feel free to browse and have a look at those. We have, I think, about 50 different types of teas here, so if you'd like to peruse through our teas, you're very much more than welcome to. Of course. So, I am going to send you home today as part of your experience with our tea tasting session with each of the teas that you tried today. So, I am going to send you home with the Earl Grey black tea. Going to send you home as well with the ginger lemongrass tea. And the English breakfast tea. The green mango peach. And the chamomile citron. And perhaps by experimenting with these loose leaf teas in ways that you would like to, you may find that they take on a completely different flavor profile. A lot of people like to add a little drop of honey to the chamomile. Okay. So that was our tea tasting session here at our shop. Did you enjoy yourself? Brilliant. Well, I'm very happy that you came to visit us today and that you sampled our teas. Please feel free to take home those 5 samples from Tea Forte's collection so that you may try them at home. Thank you very much for visiting us here at our tea shop, and we look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Goodbye.